Hello, this is another video on adjusting your finger picks. As many of you know, I have always preached bending the pick and shaping the pick with your bare hands, and realizing after 50 years of being a goldsmith and silversmith that my hands were quite strong and very easy for me to bend the picks, but maybe not so easy for many people. And I have devised this simple, let's get it right side up, a very simple little wooden stick that has a broader end and also a very nice narrow end with a curvature on the inside. And it actually is inexpensive. You could make it yourself. I have drawings available that you're for free if you would like to do that. The reason is that you need something that will bend your picks in and out and not kink them. And this little device does a great job by just slowly, I've put the narrower one on the inside of the wing of the pick, and I'm just slowly, carefully bending out the wing end in 2mm increments, and you can see the difference already on how much it has opened it. And I can just as easily, and it doesn't matter if you start at the top or the bottom, but I find the top better, but slowly bend it and slowly turn it, and you can bend very easily. Bend it back into place and it will fit beautifully. The curvature is very even, which is highly important in the picks because it is a spring, and it depends on this very even curvature to let it open and close at an even pressure. And then the idea of the pick is to slip it on like that, but it grips enough that you have to pull it to get it off. And they do not, properly fitted, they do not fall off. The other blade, the broader one, is used to adjust the blade of the pick. And basically, if the blade of the pick is curved out too far, it will grab the string, pull the string unnecessarily before it releases it, and it releases it with more of a cracking sound. If that's the sound you like, that's fine. If it is bent too close to the hand, and this is where this device really works, is you get the inside of it, you slip it in. And again, we're still talking about just very, very carefully bending it the tiniest amount to bring it in. And we're really talking about just the thickness of the metal itself. Now we have it much closer. If it's too close, there's a tendency for the string to slide off and not give you a nice tone. It gives you sort of a sloppy, wimpy tone. So really the adjustment is no more than the thickness of this blade each time, and all of a sudden your tone will become very smooth. It'll become very nice and round and in sound, and all done by a simple little device that is easy to carry in your music case. It's really handy when you need it. Fitting the pick is one of the most difficult things for the person to do. First of all, I try to fit the wings, and this is the wing part of the pick, the two wings that go around the finger. I like to get that fitted really well to the finger before I even worry about the blade. This one you do by sight and feel, this portion. This portion you do with your ear. You pull a string, and again, if you're Scruggs style, with both fingers. If one is louder than the other, generally the louder one is the straighter one. And so what I try to get is a real evenness between the two fingers. And because we are different in every way, some of our fingers are very different, our joints are different. Probably a lot of yours are crooked like mine if you're like me in my early 70s. And so getting that evenness to me is the most important thing, and the way to start to get that. Don't adjust your playing, adjust your pick is really, I think, the way to go. So moving this blade away from the finger will give you better grip as you pull up, and and you have to listen. You'll keep trying, and don't. It gets easier the more you listen and try, but my first thing I try to do is to get a real evenness in sound between the two fingers, the two picks. And once I get that, I may say, oh, okay, I'd like it a little straighter. I want a little more drive and a little more sound. Then I will look at both together, and one of the good things to do is to, of course, put them side by side and photograph them. Photograph your two picks side by side. Compare the two. So when you do adjust them, you can photograph them a second time, or just look at the photographs of the pick and really see how much you've changed them. And it's really quite helpful to have that, because in my case, I'm doing it every day. I'm setting up picks almost every day. And sometimes even just the photograph, if I've taken a photograph of someone's picks and they've really liked them, I know if I set them up the same way that they're going to work for them. So getting back to the pick stick, and I always get it upside down. Getting back to the pick stick, it's a little piece of beech wood, and I've bound each end with cord, a heavy button cord, and covered it with Sino glue, and it really stops this. And there's a hole drilled through here. If you get my drawings and would like my drawings, there's a hole drilled through here. The reason being is when you cut a slot into the wood, if you drill a hole, generally the crack won't go any further, and if you left it as a slot, it would break. They're very tough, and tough enough to do the job, certainly, and you shouldn't be bending your picks that much anyway. It would be just a catastrophe. Anyway, that's sort of the idea of how to use the tool, how to start out to adjust your picks. And of course, if you have any questions, really feel free to email me, go on my website, and I will be delighted to help you, and if necessary, send you a video on what I think you should do to solve your problem. The main thing is, if the picks fit right, you play well, and they really perform. Thank you so much.